But in this case, Schimmel will lead because the U.S. attorney position will remain vacant. This leadership move by the Justice Department has happened in at least 2 other federal districts. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Energy prices are spiking after Israel struck Iran's vast South natural gas field. Now Iran is retaliating across the region. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the U.S. is, quote, on track in Iran, but would not say when the conflict would end. CBS's Olivia Rinaldi.
Secretary Hegseth has said that the U.S. is leading this fight, that they are leading this war, but this is certainly turning to a new page where it seems that critical infrastructure as it relates to gas and energy are becoming main targets in the region.
A senior administration official says the Pentagon is seeking $200 billion in additional funds for the Iran war. And the search is on for a missing college student in Spain. News Nation's Marnie Hughes.
James Jimmy Gracie is missing. He is a junior at the University of Alabama. Jimmy was visiting friends in Barcelona, Spain, when he vanished on Tuesday, March 17th. So this just happened. He was last seen outside of Xoco. It's a club in the Villa Olímpica area of the Barceloneta beach.
Gracie is from a suburb of Chicago. Time for news about your money. Here's your WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the red on the boards this morning. Your Dow is down 373 points to 45,851. The S&P 500 is down 40 points to 6,584. And the NASDAQ is down 151 points to 22,000 even. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 10:04.
Sponsored by Redo Cabinets. Don't replace, reface.
At Redo Cabinets, we know the kitchen is the heart of the home. It's the place that design and function matter most. Mark Olson here. Redo Cabinets wants to transform your kitchen into your vision without the mess, the stress, or the cost of a full kitchen remodel with cabinet refacing. During our spring sales event, learn all about refacing, premium cabinet products, and plenty of options for color, hardware, style, and accessories. And now get a free premium countertop with every refacing project, or payments that start as low as $195 a month. Call today and book a free, no-obligation consultation. Redo Cabinets. 414-677-6417. 414-677-6417. That's 414-677-6417. Or visit us at redocabinets.com. That's redocabinets.com. Serving homeowners for over 70 years in Illinois and Wisconsin. Don't replace, reface with Redo Cabinets.
So if you're looking to install a new glass shower door, you're going to want to see selection. The more you see, the better choice you can make. And that's why our store is loaded with 20 different glass shower door options. And what sets Less's Glass apart is that you're going to have somebody close by for help who's been here for years and years to ask them questions and get reliable answers. Now, no one's going to be hounding you, but when you need an answer, you're not going to have to search around. One thing you can count on at Less's Glass is that there will always be a member of our staff here with decades of experience. And that matters, because how many times have you been at the big box home improvement store, walking around trying to find someone who can actually answer your questions? This is Stacy Sinks. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Split squad play for the Brewers yesterday in the desert ends in 2 losses against the Angels and the Mariners. Cactus League play continues for the Brewers tonight against the Rangers. You can hear the game starting at 8 o'clock on 94.5 ESPN. Our last spring training broadcast on WTMJ will be on Saturday. Opening day is 1 week away. The Bucks are looking for a win as they start the 4-game West Coast road trip against the Utah Jazz. Our coverage starts tonight at 6:30 or 7:30 right here on WTMJ. And March Madness also starts today with 5-seed Wisconsin Badgers starting off their tournament dance against the 12th seed High Point at 12:50 in Portland. Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding, and a whole lot more. Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic, a couple of incidents to report. Wisconsin 67 North in Dousman is closed at Whitaker Lane because of an incident, and also Wisconsin 67 South in Summit is closed at Griffith because of an incident. Now, I don't have any cameras, so I don't know if the incidents are related, but you may want to avoid Wisconsin 67 in that area for right now. As we move east, we have a disabled vehicle on the exit from to Elm Road from 4194 South. Looks like the cars are able to get around, so just keep an eyeball on that area. We now also have a crash on the exit to Highway 100 from 94 East. The tow trucks are out. It's off to the side, but people are gawking. Give them a lot of space. Stay safe out there, everyone.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Brave Americans who served shouldn't be denied benefits or have a disability claim incorrectly evaluated by the VA. If you're one of those vets, call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, partly cloudy with a high of 43. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low of 35. For your Friday, mostly cloudy with a high of 53. For your Saturday, that cloudy chances continue, but it gets breezy and mild, a high of 62. On Sunday, that high comes down with a chance of a rain-snow mix, a high of 41. For your Monday, partly sunny with a high of 37. And for Tuesday, mostly cloudy with a high of 47. Right now in Madison, it's 39. In Waukesha, it's 41. In Green Bay, it's 36. And in Milwaukee, partly sunny and 38 degrees. I'm Tiff Bua. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 10:09.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristen Bry.
And good morning. Kristen is off today. I'm going to get right to it. Joining us on the hotline is the Washington County Executive, Josh Schoemann. Lots going on at a meeting, executive committee meeting of the board last night. Good morning, County Executive. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having me. I'm just sad we're not going to get to talk with Kristen today. Hopefully she's enjoying some March Madness or something fun.
Well, I think she's actually working today, but let's get to it. You had a very, very contentious meeting last night. I saw some video. I heard your comments. I saw some of the comments of some of your executive committee members and an audience that, correct me if I'm wrong, was very against the idea of renaming a section of Highway K for the late Charlie Kirk. Give me your sense of what that meeting was like.
Yeah, it was quite emotional, especially at the outset, pretty intense. And this is the time of year where typically county board sessions are pretty boring and dull because you got the election season going on. Right. But this issue definitely took on a life of its own last night.
So let me ask you this. From my sense of listening to the people in the audience and seeing some of the coverage, and we talked about it yesterday, and I've got my take on it, but this seemed to me something that your community was against, at least the people that showed up, and there was a pretty big crowd there last night, and I can tell you I've got more email on this than almost any subject I've talked about in the last year or so. So you're advocating for this idea of renaming this section of the highway, but it seems like the community is not in favor, at least the members that were there last night. Am I wrong on that?
No, definitely the neighbors who were there have been very outspoken in their opposition, and there's certainly a coordinated campaign, and I don't say that in a de minimis way, but they're definitely working to get the message to county board supervisors and to myself, and they're heard. I mean, we are definitely hearing from a large segment. But, I think this is a really important conversation, not just for Washington County, but for the state and the country.
Why? Why do you think that?
Well, I think one of the big problems, and we've talked about this before, I think one of the big problems in our country is we don't talk to each other, we talk past each other. And what happened last night, I think if you saw my comments, was, I thank the people who came. I thank the people who called me and sent emails and let their voices be heard. And I shared how I felt. I mean, I was deeply affected by Charlie's assassination, and that's what it was. And I was on the trail at the time and have been concerned for my own safety. And I worry about where this attitude of we don't talk with each other, we talk past each other is taking our country. And I think Charlie represented the best of having those conversations. He did that in real time with people who disagreed with him 180 degrees on many issues. Did he say controversial things? He for sure did. But it was never like visceral hatred where they were screaming at each other, throwing bombs. And I think we need more things. And, just like the show you guys have, the name of the show in and of itself, you're trying to have differing points of view and conversation back and forth. I think it's exactly the kind of thing we need, and I think it's exactly what Charlie represented.
The big sticking point for me, and I know you have a thought on this, is spending, as was proposed, $50,000 for signs, basically, to sort of change this designation on that piece of highway, coming out of general funds. You're not in support of that, correct?
That's exactly right. And that at the beginning was something that we certainly could have worded better in the resolution. The county executive committee made it very clear by making an amendment to that resolution to say this is the only way this happens is if there's donations that come and be able to afford it. It's not going to be taxpayer dollars. I do think that is a legitimate point, and it absolutely is one of the things that overwhelmingly came through from all of those different communications. So, I know there are some people who think, this is getting rammed through and it's happening too fast, but that's a really good example of there was plenty of feedback. A change was made based on that feedback, and we'll still see what the county board decides to do with the totality of the issue next month.
You have a 21-member board. I should also illustrate or point out that Milwaukee has a 16-member. So you have a lot of members up there, and I believe the number that you need is 16 of 21 to approve this in whatever form or fashion that takes, whether it's, again, you already indicated you're opposed to general fund money, donated money. Do you think there's enough support to make this a reality?
I think last night really set a lot of thoughts going through county supervisors' minds of, is this the right time? Is this the right individual to recognize? Is this the right location to recognize it? And I think that's going to play out over the next month. I sat and talked to people until everybody was out of that room, and there were hundreds of people in that room.
Yeah.
And, I got feedback directly from them. I'll continue to do that, and I know county board supervisors will too. I certainly am going to urge the county board to continue forward and do this. I think it's the right thing to do, but I certainly respect the people who feel differently, who feel otherwise, and I had those conversations directly with several of them.
I always appreciate your time. I know you're a busy guy. Washington County Executive Josh Schoemann. We'll talk again, and I'll certainly look forward to that vote and see what we can talk about after that takes place. Thanks for joining the show.
Thanks for having me. God bless everybody, and go Bucky.
All right, from your mouth to anyone that matters when it comes to the Badgers winning. All right, after the break, let's go right to the state senate. They had their final session, official session of the legislative season. Jesse Opoyan, great writer for the Journal Sentinel, will join us after this on 620 WTMJ.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. That snow early in the week was crazy, wasn't it? I know. It happens, but I just wasn't really ready for it. Well, we're going to get you ready for some stuff you can do inside right now because it's still kind of chilly, and some stuff you can plan for coming up this spring. It's Experience Wisconsin at 1 o'clock on Saturdays, this week joined by the Milwaukee Art Museum and KB Excursions. Going to be a fun show. It's Experience Wisconsin, Saturday at 1, right here on 620 WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ, Steve Scafidi for QC Kinetics. Raise your hand if you're excited about getting older. No one raises their hand for that, do they? I didn't think so. Anyway, if you have ongoing pain, you got a bad knee or hip or elbow. For me, it was my elbow. I had an slight elbow tear. Tennis elbow is sometimes how they refer to it. I went to QC Kinetics, talked to Dr. Ashley Caravelli and her great team. First of all, their communication is off the charts amazing, but they're backed by real science. So instead of opting in for surgery or meds, which can be a lifetime thing, how about treatments that treat the area that you're dealing with? In my case, it was the elbow. Using your own body's healing tools to concentrate that pain relief right where you need it. So if you're training for a marathon or a race, half marathon, or you want to play with your grandkids more, or you're trying to go back to a more physical job, these are all real stories from real QC Kinetics patients. The sooner you start the treatment, the faster the inflammation and the pain goes away, because no one signs up for feeling older faster. Find out if you're a candidate. Free consultation. How about that? Here's the number, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. Get that healing relief at QC Kinetics.
It's Mike with Infinity Exteriors. I've seen it all, Wisconsin. Sketchy sales gimmicks for low-quality windows, siding that costs more than a new home, fly-by-night roofers. 60,000 happy customers made a better choice. Infinity Exteriors roofing, siding, and windows all come with our lifetime workmanship warranty, no overcharges, and transparent pricing. At Infinity Exteriors, we're on a mission to save our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
All right, from one hotline to the next, she is a terrific reporter on the state of Wisconsin and politics and a lot of things. She is Jessie O'Point, who joins us on the hotline. Good morning, Jessie.
Good morning, Steve.
Long time no talk, but let's get right into it. The state Senate wrapped up their formal session for the year. Let's focus on a couple things. One, the accomplishments, the things they got done that went to the governor's desk. Let's spotlight a few of those as far as how you covered that.
Sure. Well, one of the big ones is the bill to legalize online sports betting.
Online gambling, yes, big topic in Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's been a hot one. The other one, another one, being the NIL bill, the bill to give UW athletics some taxpayer dollars and codify some rules in terms of how players are able to profit.
As you talk to these senators on both sides as part of your reporting, did you get the sense that they feel like they finished their business, or was there a sense of it was obviously more lifting to do, and we're going to get to that in a second, of course, the unfinished tax relief that they've all been talking about, including the governor. What did you get a sense of where they were at?
Yeah, I think there's definitely still a few things up in the air, like you said, this tax package. Something that they didn't take up also is the bill to extend the stewardship program, the Knowles Nelson program,
Yes.
which may be dead or could come back maybe in those tax negotiations. So, this was the final scheduled regular vote period, but we know that those talks about the tax package are still ongoing. We also know that the governor wants them to come back for a special session on redistricting. Not likely that Republicans are going to act on that, but they may come back for some other things.
The other big one that sort of is left on the table, and I saw some comments, other body of the legislature from Speaker Robin Vos, Assembly Speaker Robin Vos, on data center. Lots of concern that wasn't picked up or any legislation passed by the state Senate. What was the conversation there?
Yeah, that's right. So there wasn't really any in the Senate. But like you said, the Assembly passed this largely with Republican votes. A couple Democrats crossed over, and a couple Republicans crossed over against it. But this is an attempt to put some set of regulations in place for data center construction in the state. The Senate did not take it up, and Robin Vos, as you mentioned, highlighted that and said he thinks that's maybe not going to be great for Republicans when they hit the ballots in November.
Yeah, he highlighted that point. Is this could be one of those issues that the other side, in that case Democrats, because he's a Republican, might use against them. And we've had recently some news of some departures. So I would say, I know you're not going to take your journalist hat off, but this is sort of an uncertain period for potentially what could happen in the Senate, including who is leading the Senate next session.
That's right. Democrats only need to pick up a couple seats to take a majority in the Senate, and you've got some, longtime incumbents not running for re-election. Most recently, Van Wanggaard announcing that from Racine. And that's a seat that Democrats are targeting. There's a few more incumbents not running. There could always be more announcements to come. I think Democrats are feeling pretty good about their chances. Obviously, it is a long time between now and November, but, that was a word of caution from Robin Vos. The Assembly can say that they tried, but the Senate did not take that issue up, which we know from last month's Marquette poll has only gotten more unpopular with voters.
The one that I think a lot of people see as a positive sign, and this is certainly something that Kristen and I have talked about, and Kristen's off today if you're wondering where she is. She's actually working a day off, is postpartum care for women. And I think this was a big one that had been talked about for a long time. It was pushed back against strongly by the aforementioned Speaker Robin Vos for whatever reasons he did not favor that. But at some point, a lot of us believed this would happen, and the governor celebrated this bill yesterday. That was a big win for both sides, I believe.
It was. The governor has introduced this in every single one of his budgets since he's been in office. It started off as a bill that Democrats introduced without any Republican support back in, I want to say, 2019. They've been working on this for a while. It became a bipartisan issue. It became a overwhelmingly supported bipartisan issue. But it still faced that opposition. It still had a tough road ahead until kind of some 11th hour negotiations in the Assembly. The Senate had passed it, I think, a year ago. The Assembly passed it, and the governor signed it into law. It's a big win for everyone who's been working on that, and they've been working pretty hard on it.
Milwaukee Journal Sentinel reporter Jesse Opoyan joining us on the hotline. Last thing, I mean, we are all looking forward in Wisconsin, and I've talked a lot about this, tax relief. We've been told that something's going to happen. From what you're hearing as you talk to the leaders of this state, political leaders, and the governor, how likely, what's the timeline that we might see a special session that actually is not just gavelled in and gavelled out, that actually looks at this in a sort of in-depth, what can we do for Wisconsinites when it comes to tax relief? How serious is this? Or will this be another one where we've talked a good game, but nothing is accomplished? What do you think?
I think chances are still pretty good. They're still having these conversations. I think everyone's motivated to get it done. The way that property taxes went up this year, we're looking at a large surplus, $2.5 billion. I don't think anyone wants to see that sitting unused, especially when taxes have gone up so much. That being said, still some pretty big sticking points. Senate Republicans have said they won't pass anything that doesn't have some sort of tax rebate. The governor's dug in on some sticking points on education funding and what he'd like to see. Speaker Robin Vos described Assembly Republicans as sort of being in the middle just a couple days ago. So you kind of know what everyone wants, at least what they've said publicly. But I do think that there's motivation to get that done, and I think we would see it still probably in the next few months, spring into summer. I don't think they want to let it go any longer than that.
Yeah, agreed. Real quick, as you shift from the Senate final session, official session, where does a political reporter for the Journal Sentinel move on to next? The Supreme Court race? Where are you going?
Oh, the governor's race. The governor's race has been starting and happening in the background, and it'll become the forefront for me going forward here. All
right. Always enjoy your time on our show. Let's not be strangers. It's been a while since I've talked to you. I know that Kristen's talked to you more recently than that, but let's talk down the line as you just said. Focus on the upcoming race for governor in Wisconsin. Thanks for joining us.
I would love to. Thanks for having me on, Steve.
All right. Say hi to that famous dog of yours as well.
I will.
All right. Take care, Jesse. All right, we'll take a quick break here on Point Taken to tell you about the newsletter. I saw someone already texted the word extra, so good job, you, as we attempt to give somebody, lucky listener and subscriber to our newsletter, an amazing 4-pack of tickets for a Brewers game in April. So we'll do that after the break on Point Taken. Kristen Less, Point Taken on 620 WTMJ.
When you think about your financial future, it helps to have fee-only fiduciary guidance that puts your interests first. At Annex Wealth Management, you receive comprehensive planning from a team that includes wealth managers, financial planners, and investment specialists working together to support your financial life. Annex's advice is designed to stay aligned with your goals without commissions influencing recommendations. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com.
Hey, for 70 years, that's 70 years, not 770, Geist has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. I know that because I just visited with them. Don't let a busted or broken garage door or opener problem get you down. Call my friends at Geist today with brands like CHI and LiftMaster, which is what I have. They have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs. I saw a few of those at their warehouse to meet your exact needs. And their showroom is amazing, by the way. For swift and reliable repair solutions, they're as good as it gets. Go to Geist, Geis, doors.com. GeistDoors.com. You can also visit, I just talked about it, their amazing showroom in Brookfield. I walked through this thing. The technology is incredible, featuring hundreds of door options, opener options. The technology on these things is off the charts cool. And their custom design room can answer any question you have about your garage door or your opener. Don't think twice, they say. Call Geist. Geist, Geis, doors.com.
Experience an auto show like never before. The Milwaukee Auto Show hits the road with new dates and a new easy access, easy to park location. Clear your calendar. May 14th through 17th at the Wisconsin State Fair Park and Expo Center. Whether shopping or just dreaming, you'll see sleek luxury cars to rugged trucks and everyday favorites. Hundreds of new vehicles. May 14th through 17th at the Wisconsin State Fair Park and Expo Center. AutoShowMilwaukee.com.
We'll admit, we've already thrown in the towel on the New Year's resolution.
Yeah, and we made it through dry January. But one healthy new habit we're sticking with is Active Liver from New Nordic. Did you know your liver works around the clock processing food, sugar, alcohol, and everyday toxins? All things that can really impact your health.
That's why daily support matters. Active Liver is designed to help protect normal liver function and support your body's natural detox process.
With trusted ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and artichoke extract, it's gentle enough to take all year long.
No harsh cleanses, no extreme detoxes, just simple daily liver support. We really feel the difference.
Yup, more energy and the peace of mind knowing we can enjoy the good things in life while giving our liver the love it needs.
Active Liver is available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com. Or you can find it in stores at CVS, Meijer Grocery, Wegmans, and now Active Liver is available at your local GNC.
It's that time of year, yes. Brewers baseball. Cannot wait. Less than a week from today, actually. A week from today, we'll be out at the ballpark with and I. Point taking sort of the lead into the great Brewers game that day, opening day. Greg Matzik will be our sort of in the dugout reporter. We've done this for a few years. It's fantastic, and Greg gets the best interviews. But we want you to subscribe to our newsletter. One, just to subscribe to it. It's a great resource, and we're constantly tweaking it and adapting it. We actually have a meeting next week to add some more cool features. But here's a cool little giveaway that we're doing. If you want to subscribe. And we make it really easy. Just text the word EXTRA, E-X-T-R-A, to 855-616-1620. But beyond that, if you're on that subscriber list, you're eligible to win a 4-pack of tickets to Section 117. What does that mean? Right behind home plate. For the Cruise game against the defending American League champion Toronto Blue Jays, great baseball team. Tuesday night, April 14th, just text the word EXTRA. Don't put like variations on the theme. It's E-X-T-R-A. Need those 5 letters. And then we'll send you a quick link. It's like 4 or 5 questions. Boom, name, email, where you live. That's it. And we send you a link. You sign up, and you get some great content every Sunday morning when you're just sitting at home relaxing. You can sort of see what we talked about, see who our guests have been, see what's coming up, things we're working on, including opening day. All easy to find. We want you to win those tickets. I hope somebody wins. We're hoping to have the winner on our opening day show next Thursday, so could be you. But not unless you sign up. EXTRA, 855-616-1620. Our Extra Points newsletter giveaway for the Brewers tickets right behind home plate. All right. We're moving them up this week. Moving on up for Jeremy Janine, UrbanMilwaukee.com. Great local reporter. All things Milwaukee, Milwaukee County, City of Milwaukee. And later on in the show, we have the county executive who's fresh off his State of the County address this morning. I believe he's at Potawatomi. The great Potawatomi, one of our partners here at WTMJ. So that's all coming up. It's a busy show today. Even though I'm by myself, heavy lifting is required. All right, we got local news with Tiff Pua. Before we get to any of that, here's the latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The Pentagon will ask Congress for an additional $200 billion in funds for the Iran war, a number that comes on top of extra funding that the Department of Defense already received last year in President Trump's big tax cut bill. At the Pentagon today, Joint Chiefs Chairman General Dan Kane said the U.S. and Israeli militaries continued targeting Iran's Navy.
We continue to hunt and kill mine storage facilities and naval ammunition depots. We continue to hunt and kill afloat assets, including more than 120 vessels and 44 mine layers, and the pressure will continue.
Iran intensified its attacks on oil and natural gas facilities around the Gulf, sending oil prices up past $119 a barrel. Stayed there briefly, then pulled back to around $110, which is still a 3.2% rise from a day prior. President Trump meeting with Japan's prime minister as he seeks help from other countries securing the Strait of Hormuz. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 10:31. I'm Tiff Pua. 3 teens are under arrest after an armed robbery turns into a police chase. Police responded around 1:30 Wednesday afternoon near Silver Spring and Lovers Lane on Milwaukee's northwest side. The armed teens approached a person and then stole their car. The police chased the car until the teens jumped out of the moving vehicle and fled on foot before being arrested. 3 boys, ages 12 to 14, were taken to the hospital for injuries. A Columbia County sheriff is on administrative leave after illegally obtaining medications off the internet. The sheriff's office was informed on February 27th of an investigation in a different county involving purchasing prescriptions through internet sources. Now, while no one has been arrested, the unidentified deputy is on leave and is cooperating. Columbia County is conducting an internal investigation. Governor Tony Evers has signed Gale's Law, requiring health insurance companies, including Badger Care, to fully cover medically necessary supplemental breast screenings. This applies to diagnostic examinations beyond the standard mammogram, where women with dense breasts or women who have an increased risk of breast cancer will get those diagnoses. The bill honors Wisconsin's Gail Zemer, who died in 2024 after undetected cancer in her dense breast tissue caused a late-stage cancer diagnosis in 2016. Time for news about your money. Here's your WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything's still in the red on the boards here. The Dow is down 373 points to 45,851. The S&P 500 is down 45 points to 6,579. And the NASDAQ is down 188 points to 21,962. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic, we have a major incident to report. Wisconsin 67 North in Dousman is closed at Whitaker Lane because of an incident. There's a large police presence in that area. Also, Wisconsin 67 South in Summit is closed at Griffith Road because of an incident. Now, we're still not sure if the two incidents are related, but you will want to avoid that section of Wisconsin 67 for now. As we move east, we have two disabled vehicles. They're both trucks on the exit to Elm Road from 4194 South. It looks like cars can get around them. You just want to keep an eyeball out on both of them. They're on both sides of the ramp there. Stay safe out there, everyone. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, partly cloudy with a high of 43. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low of 35. Those cloudy conditions continue into Friday with a high of 53. For your Saturday, still cloudy, breezy, and mild, but a high of 62 degrees. For your Sunday, that's a chance of a rain-snow mix, a high of 41. For your Monday, partly sunny, a high of 37. And for your Tuesday, those clouds return with a high of 47. Right now in East Troy, it's 43. In Maple Grove, it's 37. And in Milwaukee, it's partly sunny and 39 degrees. I'm Tiff Bua. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 10:34.
3 generations ago, it was about doing one thing and doing it right.
Hardwood, tile, carpet, floors that had to last because our name, Adair, was on them. Over time, homeowners asked us to do more. Kitchens, bathrooms, full remodels. And so our name changed to Adair Floors and Remodeling.
But flooring has always been the foundation, literally.
And it's something the next generation already understands.
Hi, I'm Ava. Hi, I'm Quinn. My dad does floors.
From hardwood and luxury vinyl plank to tile and carpet, we handle selection, layout, and professional installation.
And because we also remodel homes, we know how flooring works with everything else. Transitions, finishes, and long-term durability.
When you hire Adair, you're getting experience you can stand on and people who will be here for decades to come.
Call my dad. Bye-bye.
Adair Floors and Remodeling. Built on flooring, trusted for remodels. 3 generations, 1 standard. Call us at 414-761-3660 for your free flooring estimate.
It's here on consignment from over 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end, distinctive furniture, unique antiques and original art, to tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. Premium home decor priced right at 25 to 40% off retail prices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Smart interior designers know that what they'll see here is going to be almost impossible to find anywhere else, especially at our consignment prices. Premium home decor that's gently loved and close to new. And what we carry can raise the wow factor of anyone's home decor. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
11 o'clock on a Thursday means it's time for a full hour of city stories with urban Milwaukee president Jeremy Janine on Point Taken.
Oh, it's not 11 o'clock, so we're bringing him early because we actually have fresh from the state of the county address, County Executive David Crowley joining us at 11:30. So we moved you up, Jeremy.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully you didn't have to rush from that because you have one of your other great journalists covering that speech this morning, or address, they like to call it. Kristen loves to talk about parking, but we know that she likes to play the system a little bit. But let's be honest about it. We can blow her up a little bit. She loves to play that game, where you park illegally for a second or two. I'm just teasing her. All right, so we're going to start with parking. I love this note that you put in here. Parking, not Trump.
Yeah, parking, not Trump.
Explain.
Because the title of the article is How Milwaukee Lost Its DEI Director.
Yeah.
And for the city of Milwaukee, that was the Office of Equity Inclusion, the chief equity officer.
Who was?
Bernadette Caranja, highly regarded individual, had held the role since 2023, had been with the city much longer than that. And she just mysteriously disappeared last year. And that had people asking questions. And it turns out it relates to the thing we joke about a lot, which is HPV, but the other HPV, habitual parking violators.
Yeah, some of these people are crazy.
So these are the people that have 5 or more tickets. And the city had a policy of towing those 5 or more unpaid tickets.
Right.
The city had a policy of towing those people if they found them parked illegally again. Now, after getting a report on how much debt unpaid citations were tied to those people, something like $16 million, Innovation Director Jim Bowl sets out to, in his words, build a better mousetrap. And the idea was, instead of just towing them when they're illegally parked, let's tow them whenever we find them. But also, we won't tow them the minute they're on a payment plan or have a scheduled court date.
Right. So they've actually made an effort.
That was their claim.
Yeah.
Now, Jim Bowl is within the Department of Administration, the Office of Equity and Inclusion, also within the Department of Administration. And we had the unusual thing in July, and now I have records going back several months on that. But in July, Jim Bowl appears and says, hey, we're building this better mousetrap. We think this is actually a better policy. Bernadette Caranja, the chief equity officer, shows up and goes, well, no, I want like a 10 to 12 month delay because we actually have no idea who we're towing. We know the vehicles we're towing,
right,
but we don't know the race, the income, the geography of all these people. And we should get a better handle on, if we make this policy change, what kind of disparate impacts is it going to have?
All right, so sort of evolving the conversation to in sort of a more general, how are we impacting people's lives?
Correct. And so that was July 24th. The council then moves forward with it on July 31st, but on July 28th, Bernadette actually submitted her resignation letter and said, I'm out of here. She wouldn't say why, but it very clearly happened after this. And then shortly thereafter, some records arrived to me, which is that going back to June, Bernadette had been saying she was, and this is her writing to her boss, Steve Mahan and Preston Cole, the heads of the Department of Administration, that she felt she was being coerced into signing this equity statement on that this towing policy was equitable. And she said, no, in fact, I think the opposite. I think we don't have nearly enough data to make this decision. And so that all came to a head. She never signed the statement. In fact, she submitted her own letter to the record. I've obtained a 6-page equity report she prepared, which is the conclusion is based on the little data we have, this likely will have an unequitable impact and we should consider a bigger picture here. She never submits that to the record. She just submits this 2-page letter. And then July 28th, she pulls the plug and disappears.
Interesting backstory on this thing. So right now, with the sort of this testimony that there's obviously this bigger story to think about it as we try to change policies and figure out how we're going to handle this. What was the number you threw at me last time? Like the total impact was millions and millions of dollars.
There's something like $16 million in unpaid tickets. Now, not all that's going to be collectible because some of that's old debt.
Right.
But the city's already collected several $100,000. What we don't know is, every year they probably collect several $100,000 of this debt. Are they accelerating that claim? I think really soon we'll have data that shows they're towing more people. It's making an impact. But also the question is, and Jim Bowl said we can walk and chew gum, and let's see if that's true now, is who are these people that are paying this debt? Is it becoming a huge burden to them? What are their racial and economic status?
And the former budget guy in me, because when you're a mayor, you have to control a city budget, says, all right, so how much is all of this investigation, this research going to add to our bill? Because you have to find out these answers.
And what I don't know yet, and I'll know more in the coming days, is the Department of Public Works, which actually handles the towing, did they expand their form and when this person walks in, do they self-declare that this is my income and this is my race, and that's how the city's collecting the data? Are they having their workers collected, or is none of this data being collected? We don't know that answer yet. There's not money being clearly spent on it.
I don't know if I told you this before, but somebody asked me when we were talking about this, like a couple times ago when you were on, is there any data on people that park illegally, get ticketed, and pay, and that have like an astronomical number of occurrences of this. Like they get ticketed like 100 times, but they've paid all 100. Is that kept anywhere?
That would be kept. I haven't seen those records. I've seen the records. I requested the records, and I've seen them about who had the unpaid tickets. I don't have the numbers, and we know from when Chris Abley ran from county executive, he was one of these people that was using basically a parking spot on the city street and getting citations left and right.
I'm just curious because somebody asked about it. And I wonder what that person's like, and why do they have 100 times where they parked illegal, but yet they paid all their tickets?
Yeah. And one thing I should say as we talk about all this, Bernadette made it very clear in her testimony that she felt it was important that people comply with the law. It was just a matter of determining what the penalty was for noncompliance.
After the break with Jeremy Janine from UrbanWalkie.com, a bank error that could give or did give Chief Aaron Lipsky a huge pay increase. We'll discuss after this on Point Taken.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. If 2025 didn't go exactly as planned, you're not alone. You made it through, and that's what counts. Now it's time for taxes, and for a lot of people, that's when the stress kicks in, especially if things got messy along the way. The good news? A rough year doesn't mean a ruined future. We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS created by one of those national firms and saved him $103,000 in penalties, plus another $150,000 in taxes, because we know the tax law. Imagine walking into tax season with a plan, clarity, and someone in your corner who knows the tax law and knows how to use it. You earned it. We help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see how we can help you. Don't wait. Call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
So many emails coming in. This trip will sell out. Vince Vitrano here. Vinny's European Vacation. Would love to have you join us in October, traveling to southern Italy and Sicily with WTMJ and Colette Vacations. Our tour begins in Palermo, Sicily. Happens to be where my dad's family is from. He's coming on the trip as well. Agrigento, Sorrento, Amalfi Coast, Positano, Pompeii, and we end in Rome. Nothing you need to do except sign up and show up, as my team at Colette has thought of and taken care of everything. I'll send you a brochure with a breakdown of each day on the trip, all the sites, sign-up information, and even your all-in cost and options. Email me, vince@WTMJ.com. That's vince@WTMJ.com. We've got a special get-together here at the station coming up as well. You can meet me, talk with all the folks at Colette. That's coming up on March 24th.
Let me show you the world. Come away with me.
Vince at WTMJ.com, Southern Italy and Sicily this fall.
When I shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, every time I come in, it's like a whole new store. It's because new inventory is arriving daily, all kinds of everything. And let me tell you, thrift store prices make buying easy. And helping others at the same time, that's icing on the cake. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
At Wisconsin's own AccuNet Mortgage, our closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 less than the banks or the mortgage guys with the Rocket for exactly the same rate. Find out how much you can save at ACCUNET.com.
Just got paid today. Got me a pocket full of change.
All right, Jeremy G, UrbanWalkie.com, and of course the creator of that incredible tchotchke store, which people always ask me about because when they're in Milwaukee, then a lot of people just come downtown for lunch or whatever. And there's a lot of great places to eat lunch. And it's the cool thing about sort of the post-pandemic era, things are starting to open back up again because there was a long time when there was like a ghost town at lunch.
That certainly is a thing downtown, or was a thing. Yes, you're right. It's definitely changing.
And I've always enjoyed that environment because even when I was the mayor of Oak Creek, I'd come down for meetings with people that mattered to me. Not people that mattered, but people that I was meeting in Milwaukee, and we'd meet for lunch. Swinging Door or Moe's or whatever. Or even Capitol Grill on occasion. I'm talking about you, Rick Barrett. That was fun to do. So I'm glad that we're sort of getting back to that. Beyond that, this story, I admittedly didn't read the story, but it has to do with an error that was made on the salaries for the fire chief and the police chief in Milwaukee. Explain.
So this all ties back to Ed Flynn, if that's a name for any of you that have been a while.
Oh, yeah.
When Ed Flynn was hired as police chief in 2007, he was a big get at the time, and the city made a tweak to what's called its salary ordinance, which is basically this document that says how much someone can be paid, and it has every city job in it. It said the police chief can be paid at any amount within this big range. Now, there's ranges for everything, but the general rule is you get paid more or less at the bottom of the range.
Right.
The police chief got this little footnote that said, and it was buried in this document, that said you can be paid anywhere in the range. Wasn't a big issue. Flynn obviously left. Alfonso Morales replaced him. Then eventually we got Jeffrey Norman. Well, Jeffrey Norman's 4-year contract expired. And what turned out in 2023, if you remember, the council got in trouble because or not trouble, but created headlines because they were giving themselves raises.
Right.
And they gave all kinds of other administrators raises. And part of the council believing it was being responsible was they instituted they removed a line that made it so everyone got, when their salary got bumped up, they got bumped up to the bottom of the range.
Right.
So the range went way up, but you were stuck at the bottom of it. You got a raise, but you're stuck at the bottom of the range. Except when when Norman went to renegotiate his contract a couple months ago, he ended up with a salary at the top of that range. And how did that happen? Well, because
that was my next question.
That little footnote said the police chief can get paid anywhere in this range. So instead of getting $180-some thousand, he got $243,000, which is a tremendous raise for someone that was making $150-some thousand just 2 years ago.
It's way out of line with what you would typically expect. Generally, you see big numbers when you hire a new chief, but not when someone's already in an existing contract, or in this case, renegotiating their next contract.
So now the question comes, Aaron Lipsky, fire chief, his contract expires in May. What is the fair thing to do? And there was debate on the council was surprised that, because they control the purse strings, that, well, wait, this guy got this huge raise. We got to close this loophole. But then, I'll shorten the story, is Charlotte Moore advanced a policy, a Lipsky ally, that, no, I think what we need to do is fairness is fair. Let's let Lipsky now also get access to this footnote. So Aaron Lipsky is now in line for that same, if he's a good negotiator, $243,000 a year salary.
All right, who screwed up here?
The Common Council, when it tried to be fiscally responsible and put everything to the bottom of the range, it did that on the council floor. It didn't pause and send it back to committee to rethink it. And so they just sent this broad directive to the Department of Employee Relations to say, hey, remove this middle of the road thing, go to the bottom of the range. It didn't say, and strip out any other footnotes. And so the Department of Employee Relations didn't strip out any other footnotes.
Who should have caught this? Mayor? Council? I mean, council president? Who should have caught this? Because I'm pretty sure that's not a policy that you want to keep active and keep doing, going to the highest part of the range when you're paying your chiefs.
I think it's fair to expect the Department of Employee Relations to come back and say, hey, what do you want to do about this specific policy? Let's amend it before it's an issue.
But once it's in contract, which I believe it is for Chief Norman.
Correct.
That's a done deal.
There's a 14-page legal opinion that says you're not getting that money back.
And what was the total impact? So they both got...
Lipsky hasn't received his raise yet,
right.
But from 2023 to 2024, they both got $30,000 raises. There was several other Milwaukee employees that got big raises like that. But now Norman got an additional $60,000 on top of that, and Lipsky is in line for that as well.
All right, he's Jeremy Janine. UrbanMilwaukee.com will take a break, final break for this hour. He's going to stick around through the top of the hour news, which is 11 o'clock for you kids out there. Talking hotels, convention hotels specifically after this.
Hey, the Lenten season is here. Experience the fabulous all-you-care-to-eat Friday fish fry at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. WTMJ's John Mercure here, one of the best. All other dinners are buy one, get one free every night, even Saturdays. Savor your favorite steak, the twin lobster tails, the mixed grill of a filet, shrimp, and scallops, honey glazed salmon, any entree, ribs, you got it. All buy one, get one free. Desserts also buy one, get one free. only at the famous Fox and Hounds. Unwind tonight with an old-fashioned. Choose from 20 bourbons, 100 wines. Enjoy in one of the 8 elegant dining rooms with 7 real wood-burning fireplaces. You're going to feel warm and welcomed and cozy. Take your family to the Fox and Hounds this week. Half of your dinners are free. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the Holy Hill Shrine, serving dinner from 4 p.m. today. Dine early. Tables are open. Serving Saturday lunch from 11 till 2. Google, call, and reserve your Friday haddock Lenten fish fry and free dinner. It's the famous Fox and Hounds.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Grab the dial and crank it up, baby, because Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is spinning its Winning Hits collection. Over the next 3 months, you could win a share of over $1 million in prizes. On top of thousands in cash and reward play, you could win one of 3 new Ford vehicles in the grand finale drawings on March 27th. Just play with your rewards card to earn entries. Press play on the Winning Hits collection, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
At Og Prep North, we know the only way to build the future is on the foundation of excellence and faith. Og Prep North, built for academic, artistic, and athletic excellence, made for more. Learn more at ogprep.org.
The only place to get this.
Bucks have lost now 3 consecutive games, and for the second time this year, are now 11 games under 500.
With some of this.
If I would have told you, hey, they're going to be fully healthy to start the season, and then they're not healthy again until mid-March, it should come as no surprise that they are where they are in the standings. At the same token, injury should not be an excuse.
Get it all on Bucks Talk, your all-encompassing Milwaukee Bucks postgame show. Only heard here on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Never go wrong with the Eagles. Never go wrong with Jeremy Janine, UrbanMilwaukee.com, your source for local news, county news. And we have the county executive, David Crowley, joining us at the last half hour of the program, fresh from his State of the County address. Jeremy, let's talk convention hotels, because we've studied this idea. There's a lot of conversation locally about, what's the right number. What's the latest on this?
So we have talked about it at length because this $145,000 study really brought it to the limelight. The study by Hunt & Partners, prepared for the Wisconsin Center District, recommends a convention hotel in the realm of 650 rooms. It'd be the biggest hotel, I think, in the state.
It's
certainly
big.
in the city. And now that the Hilton has been
Bigger
divided,
than Adele's?
That's where you're right. That's probably okay.
Chat GPT, I'm going to put that to work.
Kalahari, you win.
Yeah.
We'll continue. Maybe Great Wolf Lodge too. But biggest hotel in Milwaukee would be attached to the biggest convention center in the state. And the idea from the study is that you have this big convention center expansion. Now this hotel would help you utilize it more. It'd help you get more business. What we now have is a subcommittee of the Wisconsin Center District Board debating this. And they had Hunt & Partners present. They had Peggy Williams-Smith from Visit Milwaukee, who did a very impressive presentation.
She is impressive.
According to several people in the room. And her thing was, this is a long-term need. It's not a need we need next year, to very quickly summarize her point. But then we had the 2 big hotel operators in town, and their standpoint.
Who are?
The Marcus Corporation, and then Mark Flaherty, who is Jackson Street Management, which is the Marriott and the Westin and a couple other hotels. And Marcus Corporation, it was a funny presentation because the Marcus Corporation brought several executives. They had a pre-written statement. They submitted documents to the record. And then the board turned to Mark Flaherty and they said, "What's your opinion?" And he goes, "I agree." Right. So we really got one presentation with a ditto on the end of it. And the points from the Marcus Corporation is the city's hotel market is already unhealthy because of low occupancy. And they cite that because it's around 62% instead of 70%, you can't finance new hotels, but you also can't finance renovations. And they point at their Hilton project where they split off what is now the Mark Hotel because it's a more limited service offering. They pointed to that no private developer would build this 650 room hotel without a public subsidy. And in fact, that hasn't happened anywhere in the country now for more than 20 years. And then they said the subsidy, in fact, would punish the very hotels that generate the hotel taxes that fund the Wisconsin Center District.
All right, so is this sort of a if we build it, they will come arguments? Because we're talking about big conventions, obviously, and there's always that need, but that's also limited in scope.
So that the Hunt & Partners study argues that everyone will benefit. This will lift all boats because there'll be spillover benefits because 650 rooms, you'll get bigger conventions than 650 people. Marcus argues that the Hunt & Partners study is flawed because it compares Milwaukee to markets like Charlotte and Austin, which Milwaukee is just not comparable to. When you look at things like, I'm just grabbing cities that are often cited, St. Louis, they even discounted Columbus a little bit, but more of these Midwestern, smaller mid-tier markets, that this big hotel is still just going to suck energy out of the market instead of lift all the boats.
All right, so the pro-development guy that's inside me, because I was known as a pro-development mayor, would say, sometimes you make tough decisions for the future. And if we want to be like a city that you mentioned, Austin is one of them, you want to play at that level, you have to make big, bold decisions. Could this be one of those big, bold decisions potentially?
I would pivot, actually. I would pivot to what Peggy Williams-Smith said, which is that our hotel market, that 62%, that number has been recovering every year since the pandemic. And if it's not up close to 70% by 2030, then why does she, and this is her words, why does she and so many of her colleagues have a job? She's confident that number will go up, and the discussion will turn to this is a logical outcome instead of a pie-in-the-sky idea.
You may not know the answer to this, but how much, now 6 years later, has the pandemic and the fallout from that still continue to impact business development in Milwaukee, do you think?
Huge when it comes to things like hotels. Midweek occupancy on the west side of the river is down, and that's where Marcus and Mark Flaherty pointed to, like, this is an issue midweek, and this will not really help us. On the east side of downtown, where you see like Northwestern Mutual, U.S. Bank, Baird bringing everyone back to the office, midweek hotel occupancy by those nearby hotels is way up. You're seeing office development happening there. Obviously, interest rates have stalled some of that out, but we kind of have a tale of two cities between Westtown and Easttown downtown right now.
Lots more to talk about with Jeremy and Janine, urbanmilwaukee.com. Somebody asked on the text line, what's the address for the tchotchke shop?
755 North Milwaukee Street, corner of Milwaukee and Mason.
And I've always talked about going there. I've got to go there. I'm going to go I don't like cold weather walking downtown, but when it's plus 60 plus, I like to walk around after a show. I'll walk over. What's the distance between here and there?
We'll see it tomorrow. I can make it in 10 minutes.
Is it a 10-minute walk from here?
As I hustle over here every week, yes.
That's true. You would know. All right, so we've got lots of great stories to talk about the next hour, including breweries, always exciting topic, and bus fare evasion, which I'm fascinated by. Jazz and I were having this conversation before the show today. Pay your fares, people. But sometimes it's not that easy. So we'll get to all of that. We got local news. Great update coming from Tiff Poole, who's working hard today. Here's the latest now from ABC.
Beautiful day for Brewers baseball. Brats in one hand, your Brewers checking card from Associated Bank is in the other. And with a tap, it's 20% off gear at the Brewers team store. An express entry so you can tailgate longer. And up to 50% off home game tickets. All that power, all for the crew. Only with Brewers checking from Associated Bank. Join the crew at AssociatedBank.com/Brewers. Member FDIC.
This time, that station won't make your ad. Next time, another station will come up with it. If there's one thing your small budget needs, it's consistency with your message and your media buy. It's easy to buy the flavor of the month. It's difficult to trust a plan because you'd probably be experimenting. Our plans have been proven to work. We'll get you the lowest rates, give you a consistent message that sets your business apart, and then we'll build you efficient, top-of-mind awareness. Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results. We'll make your ads potent, memorable, and effective. Whether it's radio, TV, billboards, or digital, our understanding of the market and long-standing relationships are unmatched. Anderson Smith represents a substantial amount of advertising billing, which will benefit you in getting much more for your ad dollar. Our compensation model is designed to make it affordable for businesses like yours to use us. And we hold on to our clients because what we do works, and they trust us. Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results.
The sounds of spring, and of course,
It is out of here!
Brewers baseball is back. Spring training baseball is here.
Bowers drives one to straightaway center field. Back and gone for Bowers.
Join us for our next spring training broadcast as the Brewers take on the Padres. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts Saturday at 3. We are the flagship station for your Milwaukee Brewers. 620 WTMJ.
True luxury is the absence of worry. It begins the moment you settle into your seat with Delta Vacations and continues as you step onto the polished teak decks of a Holland America ship. Whether you're chasing the northern lights or the Mediterranean sun, Fox World Travel anticipates every detail so you can simply savor the journey. Stop managing the logistics and start making memories. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO or visit foxworldtravel.com to elevate your travel today.
Spice up your workday at the original Botanas on 5th Street. Enjoy flavorful and affordable Mexican lunch specials, always made fresh and served fast with a free cup of soup. Authentic taste, local favorite. Mi casa es su casa at Botanas.
Active Liver from New Nordic protects your liver so you can enjoy life to the fullest. Online at Amazon or in stores at CVS, Wegmans, and now GNC. Transform your home today. Exterior Pros. Trust the pros.
The Jazz might bring the rhythm, but we set the tempo.
Giannis season opening. Look out below. He soars up and plunges it down with a one-hand slam.
The Bucks head to Utah to jam with the Jazz.
Oh, Giannis plunges it through. Sink and destroy. The big fella puts it down with one hand.
Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 7:30 on the home of the Bucks, 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 11:04, it's 39 degrees. Today, partly cloudy with a high of 43. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Tiff Pua. A developing story this morning, we have a large police presence at Wisconsin Highway 67 in the village of Summit. The Western Lakes Fire District and Oconomowoc Police are assisting other law enforcement with a, quote, active emergency situation near Highway 67 and Griffith Road. So Highway 67 is now closed in both directions between Whitaker Lane and Griffith Road. People are being asked to avoid that area. Milwaukee police recovered a body from the Kinnickinnick River. They responded around 5:30 this morning near First and Beecher. The unidentified person was found floating in the water. The cause of death is still unknown. The bill for the Iran war is soon coming to Capitol Hill, and the Trump administration may be seeking a massive 12-figure sum.
A senior administration official confirms the Pentagon is seeking $200 billion to pay for the war. But Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth told reporters,
I think that number could move, obviously.
It takes money to kill bad guys, he said, and to replenish munitions, too many of which, he said, have been sent to Ukraine.
Ultimately, we think this should be these munitions are better spent in our own interests at this point, and this kind of funding bill is going to ensure that we're properly funded going forward.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Back at home, Cesar Chavez events are being canceled nationwide and in Milwaukee following allegations of sexual assault and grooming against the late civil rights leader.
The city of Milwaukee has celebrated Cesar Chavez Day for more than a decade on or around March 31st. But Wednesday, Alderwoman Jocasta Zamarripa said the event will not be taking place this year following the allegations against Chavez within a New York Times article published this week. Zamarripa also indicated talks will begin in the coming weeks on the naming of Cesar Chavez Drive on the city's south side. The Marcus Performing Arts Center had planned to hold its annual Cesar Chavez celebration April 9th, but officials confirmed that event is also canceled. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
After passing through the Wisconsin Senate, Governor Tony Evers must now decide if taxpayer funding for the University of Wisconsin athletic facilities to facilitate name, image, and likeness payments, or NIL, is written into law.
The legislation earmarks $14.6 million annually for UW-Madison and $200,000 each for UW-Green Bay and Wisconsin-Milwaukee.
If it comes to me and my program, we'll be good stewards of the money.
Milwaukee men's basketball coach Bart Lundy believes the legislation could be helpful, but it further underscores the divide between major power conference institutions and smaller Division I programs.
We don't love that that's where the numbers lay, but grateful, obviously, to have any help that we can get.
Greg Matzek, WTMJ News.
Lundy tells Wisconsin's Midday News the money will not change the university's business model. Time for news about your money. Here's your WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything's still in the red on the boards. Your Dow is down 393 points to 45,831. The S&P 500 is down 46 points to 6,578. And the NASDAQ is down 189 points to 21,962. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 11:07.
Wisconsin weather doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we make upgrading your home simple. Right now, order today and get 0% interest until 2032. You heard me right. 0% interest all the way until 2032. Upgrade your windows and doors now and pay over time without paying interest. With our 10-year limited warranty, you can feel confident in your investment. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 3/31/2026.
Experience an auto show like never before. The Milwaukee Auto Show hits the road with new dates and a new easy access, easy to park location. Clear your calendar. May 14th through 17th at the Wisconsin State Fair Park and Expo Center. Whether shopping or just dreaming, you'll see sleek luxury cars to rugged trucks and everyday favorites. Hundreds of new vehicles. May 14th through 17th at the Wisconsin State Fair Park and Expo Center. AutoShowMilwaukee.com.
Burkhardt Sporting Goods in New Berlin is the baseball lover's destination with a massive state-of-the-art indoor training facility featuring hit tracks with precision analytics, a huge open turf area, and all the best training equipment you need. So get in here and get ready to get better. And we'll help you with this special offer. Buy 20 batting cage credits for $30. That's 25% off. This is Brian Burkhardt, and if you love baseball and softball like we do, you can't beat Burkhardt. 153rd and National. If you plan on draining buzzer beaters, the place to start is Burkhardt, where you'll find a great selection of residential basketball hoops from the best brand, Gorilla. We'll handle the installation and take care of everything to make it easy from start to finish. And right now when you buy from Burkhardt, standard hoop installation is half price. You can't beat that. This is Brian Burkhardt, and when you love basketball like we do, you can't beat Burkhardt.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Split squad play for the Brewers yesterday in the desert. It ends in 2 losses against the Angels and Mariners. Cactus League play continues for the Brewers tonight against the Rangers. You can hear the game starting at 8 o'clock on 94.5 ESPN. Our last spring training broadcast on WTMJ will be on Saturday. Opening day is just 1 week away. The Bucks are looking for a win as they start a 4-game West Coast road trip against the Utah Jazz tonight. Our coverage starts at 7:30 right here on WTMJ. And March Madness also gets going with 5-seed Wisconsin Badgers starting off their tournament dance against the 12th seed High Point at 12:50 in Portland. Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding, and a whole lot more. Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. A reminder again that Wisconsin Highway 67 is closed in both directions from Whitaker Lane to Griffith Road in the villages of Summit and Dousman because of a large police presence for an active emergency situation. You are asked to avoid that area. That's Wisconsin 67 at between Whitaker Road and Griffith Road. Also, we have one disabled vehicle on the exit to Elm Road from 4194 South. It's off to the side. Just give it a little space. And we do have our slowdowns in the construction area on 94 eastbound between the Fair Park and Holly Road. Stay safe out there, everyone. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, partly cloudy with a high of 43. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low of 35. Those cloudy conditions continue into your Friday with a high of 53. Saturday is the pick day. Still partly cloudy, breezy, but it's mild with a high of 62. For Sunday, a chance of a rain-snow mix, a high of 41. Monday, partly sunny with a high of 37. And Tuesday, those clouds return with a high of 47. In Madison, it's 41. In Waukesha, it's 44. In Green Bay, it's 37. And in Milwaukee, it's mostly sunny and 39 degrees. I'm Tiff Bua. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 11:11.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristen Bry.
Yeah, I got to apologize because, I didn't. When Jeremy comes in typically at 11, then the news is 11. So I apologize to Tiff Pua, who delivered our news there, the news director, and Jeremy, and all of you for not knowing what time it was. But it is 11:12 now, and we're late. So this is going to be a quick segment, but we're talking about bus fare evasion. It's a hot topic because Jazz and I were talking about it before the show. There's a lot of, and a texter just pointed this out too, multiple ways to pay. Is this correct still?
Yes, there's essentially two fare boxes on the system.
Okay, so explain that to me because I haven't ridden a bus in a while.
Sure. So when I get on the bus, I open up the UMO app, which is terribly named, but it's the fare vendor, and
it's like when you go on an airplane on some airlines, you can
very much.
Yeah.
And I turn to my left and I scan that.
Yeah.
I could get a physical card too. I scan that over there. If I'm paying cash, I turn right to go to the old fare box, and I'm looking over there. Now the driver can tell if either of those interactions are happening. The box on the left, further away from the driver, it beeps. But the big thing that essentially went wrong was in 2022, MCTS changed its policy that drivers shouldn't even be asking people to pay the fare. Turns out that's a bad idea. All of a sudden, fare evasion, according to MCTS's figures, I feel like these figures are kind of high just anecdotally as a regular bus rider, but they said it was up to 30%. Now, new director of MCTS, Steve Fuentes, is in, and he has changed the policy to you should ask at least once for someone to pay their fare. I think it's reasonable to assume that, if people are asked for something, they're, a lot of people still feel shame and they'll probably chip in. Not everyone, obviously, but enough people. And the data supports that is happening. According to MCTS's figures, in August 2025, when they had that surprise $10 million budget deficit, and again, they didn't attribute that primarily to fare evasion, but fare evasion at that point was 33% of riders. It's now fallen to 23% of riders.
Okay.
Now,
progress.
Knowing we were going to talk about this today, I watched on my bus ride. Never once did I hear the driver ask someone to pay a fare, but never once did I see someone evade paying the fare on my ride in.
Okay, improvement.
And that's been largely consistent on the routes I ride. I suspect we just have insanely high fare evasion on certain routes.
Someone sent this to me like a couple months ago, and I either forgot about it, but I was just going through my inbox, and I saw this. So kind of like the subway system, there's when you pay, there's a thing goes up, or you go through a turnstile or whatever. Has any thought been given to, all right, so maybe we're not doing this the right way. Maybe there's a door flips open, or an arm flips open that lets them on the bus once they've paid.
So that doesn't exist today, unlike a subway. I suspect that implementing that solution would be many millions of dollars.
Okay, but you're not going to have evasion then for the most part, so you sort of, you pay it on the other side.
That it's certainly true. The one thing MCTS, and this comes to their labor negotiations with their union, new director Steve Fuentes says he wants fair informers, not fair enforcers. The whole reason they stopped asking in 2022 was to avoid physical conflicts between drivers and unruly passengers.
Obviously.
So I think you'd get immediate pushback from the union on that, and that they are still protected by collective bargaining.
The drivers aren't sealed off, right?
They are sealed off.
They are sealed off?
It's making all this debate a little bit weird as part of, there was kind of a twofold thing. One, don't ask for fares, but two, there's this plexiglass shield protecting the driver now. Now, we have seen video of people reaching up, lunging over, and swinging.
Yeah.
But the driver is somewhat sealed off. The big concern I would have about fare gates, and I just need someone to run the numbers, is how do you fit a wheelchair through where the fare gate is?
Well, there's to any problem, there's always exceptions and obstacles. I think that would have to be addressed, but it's one other way that at least one texter, one emailer in that case said. I don't know if they said that somebody was already doing it. I think they might have been talking more about the
subway turnstiles
or BART, like in California. I used to live in the Bay Area. Trust me, people cheated on that too. There's ways to avoid. Even in New York, they can hop over or go under. There's a lot of ways to cheat the system. But at least there's a positive trend that people, as you said, are paying the fares to a greater degree.
Correct.
All right, let's talk beer after the break, just because we want to.
Absolutely, that sounds fun.
In the week of St. Patrick's Day, we'll talk beer with Jerry Magini and UrbanMilwaukee.com after this.
Personal injury lawyers seem like they're a dime a dozen, but Jeff Zergabel and I are not about t-shirts or cartoons. At Pasternak and Zergabel, we focus on serious cases and real results for injured Wisconsinites. We are two of Wisconsin's best injury lawyers. I'm Frank Pasternak of Pasternak and Zergabel. Our clients trust Pasternak and Zergabel because we show up, we listen, and we fight for you. If you need help, go to Pasternak and Zergabel at injurywisconsin.com. That's injurywisconsin.com.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Appliance Gallery, right on Wisconsin Avenue in Milwaukee. Their gorgeous showroom is the most up-to-date in our state, featuring luxury brands like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Miele, Fisher & Paykel, and more. They'll work right with your contractor designer and make the process seamless. They even offer brands where you can choose from custom colors. As a small family-owned company with one location, they deliver impeccable service with a personal touch. Visit ApplianceGalleryWY.com or stop in today.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee and Waukesha. Griffin. The buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers. The Jazz might bring the rhythm, but we set the tempo.
Giannis sees it opening. Look out below. He soars up it, plunges it down with a one-hand slam.
The Bucks head to Utah to jam with the Jazz.
Oh, Giannis plunges it through, sink, and destroy. The big fella puts it down with one hand.
Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 7:30 on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
B-double-E-double-R-U-N, beer run. All right. We'll get the beer in a second, but don't forget our giveaway is going to end next Thursday, which is the opening day, not coincidentally, for our giveaway on the newsletter sign-up. So if you are interested in reading all the fun stuff that we do on our Sunday newsletter, it's a great read. It's a fun read. It's 4 to 5 minutes. You can win if you subscribe on the list or getting on the list, a 4-pack of tickets, section 117, right behind home plate for the Brewers game against the defending American League champion Toronto Blue Jays. Great baseball team, by the way. Should have won the World Series, in my opinion. Tuesday, April 14th, night game, I believe, 6:30 start. Just text the word EXTRA, EXTRA, to 855-616-1620. And you might be really happy on the 26th of March when you get a call from us that you are a winner of a 4-pack of tickets to that game. So good luck to you. Somebody asked, can multiple family members sign up? Absolutely. So if you have kids who are interested in what we talk about or other adults in your home, children who are adults, they can all sign up on their email. Happy to have you on the list. And it's a good read, fun read that we enjoy putting together. All right, Jeremy Janine, UrbanMilwaukee.com is where you can find their great work, and he joins us every Thursday on Point Taken. Let's talk a new brewery, because we've been talking about closures.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a good news story. We've been talking a lot of sad news. Nick Guthrie is the head brewer at Broken Bat Brewing in Walker's Point, but he's branching out on his own. He announced yesterday he's opening Tree Line Brewing Company, which will be at 71st and Center. If you're trying to picture what that is, you will never be able to come up with it because it's an old bank from the 1950s that he's going to convert into a brewery.
Oh, yeah. I think I know where that is.
He's continuing a kind of West Side trend of having these neighborhood scale breweries, Venture Brewing's over there, Gathering Place is a place. He's IPA focused, as many small brewers are, and he's hoping to open by September. So a new brewery coming to Milwaukee in an entirely new
What'd
location.
you say the name was?
Tree Line Brewing Company.
Tree Line Brewing Company, and opening by potentially
September.
Well, September.
There's lots of regulations around breweries from the state, so we'll see if he makes that date. But good luck to him. It's going to open at some point, I'm sure.
All right, and we can't talk about beer without talking about beer gardens, a hugely popular thing in our part of the state and elsewhere, obviously. And if you've been lucky enough to go to Munich and you've been to one of their beer gardens, it's amazing. The county parks do a lot. I saw some of the stuff on the monitors yesterday, expanding their beer garden tour in the year.
Yeah, so there's lots of beer gardens in Milwaukee, but it really all started the modern version with the county's Traveling Beer Garden Series in partnership with Sprecher. They're bringing it back this year. It's going to be bigger. 2 different tours are happening. They'll go to 11 different county parks. One of those is Trimborn Farm. And one of them starts June 3rd at Cooper Park, the Pass Me the Pint tour. The other May 13th at Wilson Park. just some fun stats to throw at you. Since they launched this in 2012, most important thing, $5.4 million in revenue generated for the parks. That's huge for a cash-strapped government department.
Yeah.
But 36,000 steins sold, 580,000 pints of beer, which actually strikes me as kind of low, and then 12,000 root beer floats. And so there's a fun thing to bring the kids if they're not drinkers.
And I've had one of those. They're really, really good. Interesting point about this, and I was talking to a mayor the other day, not the one I just had on the show yesterday. A lot of communities starting to think about doing their own thing because they realize that there potentially is a revenue stream here that they can capitalize on, other than waiting for the county to get to their neck of the woods. And Oak Creek, we've had them at Bender. We've had them at some of the other small parks. But there's like, why don't we get in the business? So that's happening too.
Absolutely. So we were talking about the traveling beer gardens. There's like even Juneau Park, which is a county park, has a somewhat permanent one now. Catalano Square, a city-owned park, Third Ward Association runs. There's a lot of quasi-permanent ones now popping up.
You wonder if is there a saturation point? I don't think so. At least we haven't hit it yet.
I don't think, I mean, it seems like we hit a saturation point on breweries. Now we're seeing a new wave of them kind of take shape. I suspect the same thing would play out for beer gardens.
Yeah, and when do they start opening? It's like April, right?
So
April?
we have May 13th for the first one in the traveling series. I don't know like when the Catalano Square one in the Third Ward opens.
I suppose it depends on weather, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a big fan, so especially those root beer floats. Love those. All right, we got one more segment. I'm getting my clock head recombobulated here. It's sort of a catch-all, a potpourri is a word I like to trot out every once in a while because no one says it anymore. A list of things. We'll see what Jeremy has up his sleeve as far as what he wants to wrap with. UrbanMilwaukee.com is where you can find their great reporting. All things Milwaukee City, County, and just fun stuff like we just talked about. We'll wrap with Jeremy after this On Point, taken on 620 WTMJ.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
When you think about your financial future, it helps to have fee-only fiduciary guidance that puts your interests first. At Annex Wealth Management, you receive comprehensive planning from a team that includes wealth managers, financial planners, and investment specialists working together to support your financial life. Annex's advice is designed to stay aligned with your goals without commissions influencing recommendations. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com.
So many emails coming in, this trip will sell out. Vince Vitrano here, Vinny's European Vacation. Would love to have you join us in October, traveling to southern Italy and Sicily with WTMJ and Colette Vacations. Our tour begins in Palermo, Sicily, happens to be where my dad's family is from. He's coming on the trip as well. Agrigento, Sorrento, Amalfi Coast, Positano, Pompeii, and we end in Rome. Nothing you need to do except sign up and show up, as my team at Colette has thought of and taken care of everything. I'll send you a brochure with a breakdown of each day on the trip, all the sites, sign-up information, and even your all-in cost and options. Email me, vince@WTMJ.com. That's vince@WTMJ.com. We've got a special get-together here at the station coming up as well. You can meet me, talk with all the folks at Colette. That's coming up on March 24th.
Let me show you the world. Come away with me.
Vince@WTMJ.com, Southern Italy and Sicily this fall.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Redo Cabinets and Outdoor Living Unlimited. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. Yet at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
A few minutes remaining with Jeremy Janine, president and founder of OnMilwaukee.com.
UrbanMilwaukee.com.
What did I say? On Milwaukee.
We won't say what you said.
All right. My apologies. Yes, UrbanMilwaukee.com. It's a great resource and some great reporters working there across the board. So check it out, UrbanMilwaukee.com. We got sort of a potpourri here of things. What do we want to start with?
Let's start with what we had in Block 6. The hotel fight that we talked about a year ago involving a union, it had a consequence. There was a delayed zoning change, largely because MASH was taking out its anger on the botched union drive at the Trade Hotel. The proposed Moxie Hotel from the same developer, these are on opposite sides of Fiserv Forum, they succeeded in having it delayed. They delayed it until May 2025. Of course, in April 2025, the whole tariff thing happened with President Trump. That hotel now is being upscaled from a Moxie into an AC Marriott. The belief is that there was struggling to finance that Moxie Hotel. But NCG, who's developing the hotel, was also going to develop an AC Marriott in the Third Ward. That hotel is now going to be an independent hotel thing. So again, going back to what we talked about earlier, Milwaukee's hotel market not healthy. This is a sign of that playing out. Let's jump over to the port. The massive, the largest port investment since the opening of the St. Lawrence Seaway in the 1950s is now even larger. DeLong Company's agricultural maritime export facility, an incredibly unsexy name for an important facility. It exports DDGS, which is a byproduct of ethanol manufacturing.
Okay.
So you have all these ethanol facilities across the Midwest. They have this byproduct when they make ethanol. It's highly desirable in areas that aren't as nutrient rich as us. So you think of your European and Asian countries where they just don't have access to the farms like we do. This facility was built to export that. Things are going so well there that they've expanded this facility in a $15 million addition onto a $45 million facility.
On the port, somebody, again, I love when you come in because it refreshes my emails that I've gotten for people that I said, we'll get to it at some point. Is this as busy? Maybe that's not the right. Is this as big as our port's ever been as far as commerce and development? I mean, it's a history question. I don't know the answer.
Probably depends on how you measure. I mean, historically, no, because it used to be nautical shipping was one of the only ways you can get there.
That's true.
So we look from the St. Lawrence Seaway forward.
Dollars, maybe.
Dollars, certainly.
Yeah.
By tonnage, no, because there's no more coal barges anymore. So you used to have all this extra weight you were moving
now it's
around.
on trains.
Yeah, well, there's just not coal plants. We have natural gas plants now. So that's slowed down. But things at the port are really looking up, in part because of this facility. We talked, the port traffic was up volume-wise 3% year over year, but international traffic was up 70-some% year over year. A lot of that can be attributed to this facility doing a lot better than expected.
Yeah, and that won't be long. We'll see those cruise companies start to come back to town as well, because I love seeing them.
Late April, so we got a month to go, and they'll be here.
Yeah, which is it. I've been thinking about doing this, even though I've been to all the Great Lakes. I'd love to have that perspective of being on a ship, small ship, and going around the Great Lakes. All right, we got about a minute left. What do you want to wrap with?
One thing that struck me as interesting, Sylvia Ortiz-Velez, the state representative that was charged with disorderly conduct, she pled no contest to the case. I thought that was interesting. To me, if you're familiar with seeing how things play out in court, that's a clear indication that this was probably a negotiated deal, and the district attorney maybe could have tried to throw even more at her. Instead, she pleads, again, no contest, not guilty, to a lesser charge.
Real quick, because we have a couple seconds, the Cesar Chavez story is interesting. We'll have a lot more on that in the weeks and months ahead, I'm assuming.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's going to be a huge debate at the city. Obviously, the city has a street named after him. It has a festival. There's a statue. There's a lot of moving pieces with that now.
Jeremy Janine, I got the timing right this time, so I'm going to walk it up to Tiff Pua. But thanks for coming in early. We always appreciate your wisdom. The reporting you do in Milwaukee is as good as it gets. Thanks for being here early today.
Happy to be here.
All right, coming up, he just gave a big address. He rushed on over. He is David Crowley, Milwaukee County Executive. He's going to tell us all about what he said. I actually read the speech already, so I kind of know. Tiff Pua with local news. Before we get to that, the latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The Pentagon says strikes on Iranian targets over the past 19 days has degraded most of Iran's missile capabilities, but Iran still has been able to carry out a series of retaliatory strikes and drone hits on gas and oil facilities in the region. ABC's James Longman is in northern Iraq.
And this morning, another Iranian attack is being reported, this time a drone strike on a Saudi Arabian refinery on the Red Sea. That opens up a whole new danger in this war because the Red Sea shipping route is an alternative for the Strait of Hormuz.
The Trump administration is preparing to ask Congress for an additional $200 billion to help fight the war. President Trump, hosting Japan's prime minister for talks at the White House, called the $200 billion a small price and say they're being judicious. After a contentious confirmation hearing, DHS nominee Markwayne Mullins' nomination narrowly cleared a committee. The vote 8-7 with support from Democratic Senator John Fetterman. His nomination now heads to the Senate floor, where he'll need a simple majority to be confirmed. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 11:31. I'm Tiff Pua. 3 teens are under arrest after an armed robbery leads to a police chase. Police responded around 1:30 Wednesday afternoon near Silver Spring and Lovers Lane on Milwaukee's northwest side. The armed teens approached a person and then stole their car. Police chased the car until the teens jumped out of the moving vehicle and fled on foot before being arrested. 3 boys, ages 12 to 14, were taken to the hospital for their injuries. Plans to rename a portion of Washington County Road Charlie J. Kirk Way will not be considered by the county board. That follows a pair of resolutions passing the county's executive committee Wednesday, following an at times contentious meeting. The proposal would place signs near the I-41 on and off ramps, which would be paid for by donations according to the amendment. Washington County Executive Josh Schoemann acknowledged that the proposal is a divisive one. The full board will consider the name change on April 21st. And the owner of a former prenatal care company in Milwaukee will spend 10 years in prison for a Medicaid fraud scheme. Marquita Barnes was found guilty on 20 federal charges, including healthcare fraud, money laundering, and identity theft. A jury found that she stole over $2 million from a Medicaid benefit program that helps at-risk moms and their young children. The justice said Wisconsin had extensively scaled back the program because of the fraud and in some cases made it entirely unavailable to the women who needed it. Time for news about your money. Here's your WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything's still down on the boards this morning. The Dow is down 393 points to 45,831. The S&P 500 is down 46 points to 6,578. And the NASDAQ is down 189 points to 21,962. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic, a reminder that Wisconsin 67 is still closed in both directions in Summit, from Whitaker Lane to Griffith Road. Police are dealing with an incident there, so you want to avoid the area of Wisconsin 67 between Whitaker and Griffith in Summit. Also, we have a crash. All lanes of US 18 West at 9th Street are blocked because of that crash. Now, emergency vehicles are out. It looks like traffic is moving by in one lane, but you want to give them as much space as you can. I know it's a tight spot through that area. Stay safe out there, everyone. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, partly cloudy with a high of 43. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low of 35. Those clouds continue into Friday with a high of 53. Saturday is the pick day. Partly cloudy, breezy, and mild with a high of 62. Then it drops down again on Sunday. We have a chance for a rain-snow mix, a high of 41. For your Monday, partly sunny with a high of 37. And for Tuesday, mostly cloudy with a high of 47. Right now in Janesville, it's 46. In Kaukauna, it's 38. In Milwaukee, mostly sunny and 40 degrees. I'm Tiff Pua. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 11:34.
If you're looking to upgrade your bath or shower, Abbey Home can do it all in one day. We pull all the permits, tear everything down to the studs, and leave you with a beautiful lifetime warranted system that's turnkey. Grab bars, a seat, new fixtures, and a shower door. Right now, get 50% off installation with Abbey Home. And if somebody asks you if you know a guy in the business, you can say no, but I know a girl. Go to abbyhome.com today. Or give us a call, 414-436-ABBY. That's 414-436-2229.
Hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, cold plunge. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Sale is happening at the Realtors Home and Garden Show inside the Exposition Center at Wisconsin State Fair Park. For a limited time, you can save thousands with factory direct pricing and special show discounts. Shop floor models, brand new inventory, and exclusive show-only deals you won't find anywhere else. Don't miss the Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Sale, March 20th through the 29th, only at Wisconsin State Fair Park. Come see it, try it, and save big at the show.
Join the Brewers series against the White Sox March 26th, 28th, and 29th. Grab this year's first giveaway on Saturday the 28th, a replica of American Family Field for the first 25,000 fans, courtesy of American Family Insurance. On the 29th, it's Kids Cheer Free. Buy an adult terrace seat and receive a free ticket for kids ages 14 and under. On Sunday the 29th, the first 5,000 kids get a drip necklace giveaway. Grab your seats at brewers.com/tickets.
Hi, this is Julie Coombs and Cindy Storm Fisher with Storm Fisher Investment Group. Are you a retiring professional worried about the direction of our economy, about making your money last? Come see what we can do for you. Let us show you how we take care of you to help you have a great retirement. We are at 262-796-8400 or stormfisher.com. See you soon.
Securities offered through Osaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Osaic Advisory Services LLC. Osaic Advisory. Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory are separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, and services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory.
Save big.
Man, it's been a busy show today. We are ending on a big one. We got a very important individual. Leads Milwaukee County. He's my friend David Crowley, County Executive. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. How you doing, Steve?
I'm good. You had your State of the County address at one of my favorite places, Potawatomi.
Yes.
Thanks to them for hosting. Great partners of ours at WTMJ as well. Great venue.
Great venue.
So I sort of gave you a heads up on this. What was the most important thing you said in your 45-minute address this morning?
Well, there's a lot, right? One, I want folks to know that the state of the county is strong. But one, being able to highlight us being able to take care of our neighbors during times of need, building bridges across all of Milwaukee County, and that there's a lot more for us to do moving forward. But it was great to be able to highlight that ever since I've been county executive, we've ended every year with a surplus. And matter of fact, right now, the preliminary numbers from the Milwaukee County's Comptroller's Office is saying that we're going to end with a $14 million surplus because of 2025 and the things that we've done.
I love that.
Yeah.
And as somebody who did budgets for a community in Milwaukee County, that is a message that should be shouted. So I'm glad that you brought that up, because it's so much of I've spent a lot of time this week talking about budget issues, budget challenges, including a story from Washington County where they want to spend $50,000 for signs that I don't think most people want to pay for. So, I mean, those are always important discussions. One of the other things you highlighted, which I think is another example of job well done, homeless.
Yes.
How you deal with that in Milwaukee County. Explain.
Well, we have been investing in the housing first approach, and quite frankly, all across the country, we are seen as leaders in this space. Since I've been elected, we have invested close to about $50 million in affordable housing. And because of our efforts, not only are we seeing developments happening in many of our suburban municipalities, but Milwaukee County, again, we are being recognized of having the lowest unsheltered population per capita than any community in the United States. And this is something that we should be proud of, but we do know that there's more work for us to be done. Got to build more bridges.
Interesting thing is, how has this happened? How are we like the leader in this area?
Well, a lot of this is because of the coordination that we really focus on. One, instead of just figuring out, okay, let's just put affordable housing in a particular community, we've actually worked with municipalities to really understand what their needs and wants are, and we really tailor the solutions to fit their particular community. There isn't a one-size-fits-all solution for Milwaukee County, but we are working with landlords. We're working with developers. We're working with everybody on the ground who's on the front lines, making sure that we can reduce our homelessness and put people in homes. And when you think about it, it's helping to save us more money, right? And so when we're able to focus on housing first, you put an individual in the home, that relieves the other stress that they may have related to employment, related to their health. And so we're able to wrap around those services, saving taxpayer dollars long term, but making sure we invest upstream to focus on things like housing.
Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley joining us after his State of the County address this morning at Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. As someone who still talks to mayors, I was a mayor. Economic development is always an important topic,
Yes.
and I spent some time talking to a Cudahy mayor yesterday. How are we doing it? Obviously the engine is Milwaukee, but the county envelops how many different communities? It's 19
municipalities. Yeah.
So, I mean, they also have a part to play here on that story.
They do, and honestly, we've been able to assist many different entrepreneurs here in Milwaukee County. We created a partnership with the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, and we've been able to give out $10,000 grants to 20 different small businesses across Milwaukee County, particularly connecting them with supportive business organizations as well as municipalities who are looking not only to fill, but maybe refill some of the commercial corridor spaces that they have. And this has been tremendous for us. It's helped to leverage about $1.8 million in additional resources, but it's also helping to support at least 120 jobs countywide. And it is my goal that this can actually become a model for many municipalities across the state and how we can continue to invest in small businesses in Wisconsin.
We hear a lot about data centers, right?
Yeah.
And not so much here, but around the area. You know, you can push out an hour or so each direction. Is that part of the conversation? But on the other side of this, what other sectors are we looking to bring here into Milwaukee County that maybe we don't have, or sort of newer technologies, if you know?
Well, I do know that the data center conversation is being had, whether we're talking to our neighbors to the north or to the south. And I think it's important, right, that as long as we're talking about bringing data centers, how we're protecting ourselves, protecting our workforce, protecting our environment, our water, all those things need to be in place. And quite frankly, I think it's mind-blowing that the Wisconsin state legislature is leaving session before actually getting this done. Because
that was a big omission.
That's a huge omission, right? Because I think that as Wisconsin, we have the opportunity to really set the bar. Because my biggest fear is that a data center or an AI business will move into another community within the Great Lakes with no guardrails, and it still brings harm to our environment, right? And so I think that the state legislature needs to get this done. I hope they can get back and get this done during a special legislative session, because I know that there's still more work for us to do. But our job in Milwaukee County is to continue to leverage our assets, our real estate assets, as well as everything around us to bring in more businesses. And quite frankly, it doesn't matter what they are, as long as they're creating jobs, helping to grow our economy. I'm willing to have those conversations.
Lots more to talk about with the county executive from Milwaukee Airport, traffic safety, traffic calming, lots of things happening in and around our county. We'll continue the conversation. On Point taken. Kristen is off today. She'll be back tomorrow for Bill and Joe, always a highlight of the week. Here's a quick break on 620 WTMJ.
Save big on your automotive needs at Menards. Good maintenance equals longer vehicle life, and Menards carries automotive products to help keep your vehicle on the road. Maximize the life of your engine with Valvoline Advanced Full Synthetic Motor Oil. It helps maintain fuel efficiency and provides advanced protection from wear, friction, heat, and deposits. Save big on Valvoline Motor Oil. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Homebuyer Helper Brian Wickert. One of our senior loan consultants recently helped their first-time homebuyer client win over 13 other offers. Of course, it was a team effort with their buyer's agent, and it centered around helping our clients understand what little difference there was to their monthly payment to offer over the asking price. And again, what little difference it would make to give the sellers peace of mind that they'd still buy even if the appraisal came in up to $20,000 short. But that's not all. Our consultant also texted and called the listing agent to reinforce how well qualified our buyers were and that they could, in fact, still close even if the appraisal came in low. Your AccuNet consultant will help you understand your options so you can decide how aggressive you want to be. Then we do everything possible to help you win. Don't let someone else end up sleeping in your dream home. Know your options and get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
For 176 years, St. Vincent de Paul Society of Milwaukee has been neighbors helping neighbors, working to eliminate poverty and hunger with compassion and dignity. When families face hard times, our volunteers step in. Over 600 trained volunteers ready to meet people where they're at, in their homes. And that's what our Neighbors Helping Neighbors home visit program is all about. Volunteers travel in pairs, listening first, then offering personalized support. They provide families and individuals with things like furniture, beds, food, clothing, and connect them to vital community resources, help that provides stability during challenging times. These home visits don't just address an immediate need, they help create a safer, more stable future for our families and individuals in our community. Last year alone, St. Vincent de Paul Society volunteers completed nearly 11,000 home visits across Milwaukee County, serving those who need us most. Together, we are neighbors helping neighbors. To learn more about our mission or get involved, visit svdpmilw.org.
The Mine Chef's Wednesday and Friday all-you-can-eat haddock Lenten fish fry is just $8.99. Kids and grandkids 5 and under eat free from the kids menu Sunday through Thursday. Google, call, and reserve your $8.99 fish fry. It's the Mine Chef.
Special conversation. He's a friend, and he's a great local leader, David Crowley, Milwaukee County Executive. We're chatting during the break, so I want to bring some of this stuff. I always forget what's on live and what's not on live.
Absolutely.
Airport is something I live right next to the airport in Oak Creek. You know this. You know the geography well as the county executive. I always want to see more for this airport. I know there's issues with direct flights, but I want to know that we're working to make this the most vibrant, smaller city airport. We can argue about that term in the country. How do we do that?
Well, there's a lot that we can do. One, I want to give them a quick shout out because they are turning 100 this year.
Yes,
and so,
big anniversary.
So time really does fly. But I think one of the things, when we want everybody to continue to use MKE. That's how it gets better. That's how we add more flights. But I do think that there's an opportunity in the future for us to really redevelop what our airport looks like. And I think one of the issues is, once you walk into a concourse, you can't visit any of the concourses. You're stuck. You can't visit any of the restaurants throughout the airport. And that kind of dwindles the great experience that you can have within MKE International. And so, in the future, I think that it's about how do we redevelop. So once you are through TSA, through the security checkpoint, you can actually visit each concourse, see what stores are there, see what restaurants is there, and actually – you will get people to actually spend more money because of the amount of options they'll have access to.
Expensive option, but something that at least worth thinking about.
Absolutely.
The other one I've heard conversation about, don't know a lot about what that might look and feel like, or a timeline is additional parking on site. Anything going in that direction?
We haven't had those conversations quite yet because we still have the parking structure right next door. And there is a structure that used to host parking, Wally Park, just north of there.
Yeah.
And I do know that they have some new owners, so I'm interested in seeing what they want to do with that space. But I would tell you that not only the airport travel with our residential travel is going great, but we're close to finishing our air cargo facility within MKE. So for the first time, we'll be able to bring international products directly into Milwaukee County because we know that we've seen a lot of shipping delays in our largest suburb, Chicago, when it comes down to bringing products up. And so this is going to help, our manufacturers, our businesses, and consumers receive those products much cheaper.
And I want to give a shout out because I do love MKE. For the first time ever, I flew into the international terminal at MKE from Mexico. First class experience.
Yeah.
Efficient, even with all the stuff that's swirling around TSA and all that, and budget shutdowns. First class experience. So shout out to the folks who work in that terminal and the folks who keep us safe in airports.
Thank you. For
all right,
that.
I want to talk because this is something you also been talking about. Traffic safety.
Traffic, yes,
that's a big one. What are we doing?
Well, we're doing a lot. So we've been focusing on our Vision Zero initiative for us to go down to zero fatalities and injuries come 2037. And we just recently finished up working with each municipality, all 19 of them, of creating their own traffic action plan. And it's really focused on how do you mitigate the risk and the hazards in each community. And so I'm really excited about the opportunity there. We recently received about $25 million to invest in 67 projects across Milwaukee County. And so you're going to see, things like pedestrian enhancements, more bump outs and things of that nature in communities. But we're looking at the data to actually see what will work in each community.
Data-driven, but it works, so let's keep that process going. I wrote this in my notes, and I've now forgotten the specifics. Future State Project.
Yes, this is a great initiative that we are putting in place to basically make sure that, we're thinking about our future. And so the question we're really asking with the Future State Project is, does our current policies, programs, and services really create the future that we're looking for? And so we have we're going out to the community currently. We've talked to over 1,000 community members, county workers, supervisors, as well, to basically talk about what we want county government to look like. And we unveiled many of our draft recommendations just last week. And one of them is overlaying the no wrong door model across all county government. How do we bring a whole of county approach to make sure that people don't have to fall through the cracks or have to figure out what programs we actually deliver? And so this is helping to produce great health outcomes in our Department of Health and Human Services. And our goal is to deliver this particular model across all county government so everybody can get what they need as a one-stop shop.
I said it before, I'm a big fan of your style of leadership. You've earned it because you've done the work. And again, data-driven analysis before you do something, before you step into a project is really important. Have you grown into this job? I mean, is this something you like? It's always a learning process. I was a leader. You learn as you go. People tell you things. You become smarter. Are you still learning on this job?
You know, I think you're always learning as elected officials because, especially right now, when you think about governing, right? I mean, everything is forever changing. Technology is forever changing. Policies, funding is forever changing. But I would say that what has really guided me in this work is starting off as a community organizer, being a state lawmaker, and now as Milwaukee County executive, but also having the experience of being a legislative staffer for the Milwaukee County Board as well as the state legislature has really helped guide the decisions and the work that I do. But I would never say that I totally understand the job, right? Because, you know, if you ask me what grade I would give myself, it's always going to be an incomplete because, you know, while we are making some successful headway, there's so much more that we need to do to make this a more welcoming space for everyone to live, work, and play.
You're still learning. That's a good thing. I still learn, and I'm 67. So.
We are lifelong learners and teachers.
I appreciate you coming in. And do you share it on your website or county website? Do you share the actual address? I encourage people to go read it. You will learn about what's happening beyond the headlines because news media can only cover so many things. You want to see the full picture? It's a 45-minute speech, but it's a quicker read.
Yes.
Check it out.
Yes, definitely check it out. And for those who attended and those who will be checking it out, thank you. But feel free to call our office. Give us your ideas. Give us your solutions. We want to continue to deliver for everyone in Milwaukee County.
Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
We'll wrap it up this Thursday edition of Point Taken right here on 620 WTMJ after this.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, a Milwaukee police officer shot a person after being dragged several blocks by a vehicle on the city's south side. Reports indicate the incident happened near the intersection of 15th and Grant.
Every weekday from noon until 3 p.m.
A man remains hospitalized this afternoon after Milwaukee police say he swallowed illegal drugs after trying to get away from police.
Only on WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Kristen Bry, and it's time to make sure that you have a great smile for all those photo ops coming up in spring and summer. So I want to tell you about my dentist, the dentist that I recommend, Dr. James Michaels at Economawalk Dental Care. If you've been putting off a cleaning, dealing with tooth sensitivity, or you're finally ready to fix what's been bothering you, this is a great place to start. Dr. Michaels and his team are welcoming, thorough, and focused on your comfort. They'll explain your options clearly and help you feel at ease in the chair. From regular checkups to crowns, cosmetic improvements, implants, and even Invisalign, they can handle it all. And if something happens unexpectedly, like a crown pops off, they also offer emergency dentistry. So call 262-567-7224 to request an appointment or just visit drmichaelsdentalcare.com.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. As the days get longer and Wisconsin weather shifts, it's a good time to check your home's comfort. If your house felt drafty this winter, it may be time for an upgrade. Hometown offers energy-efficient windows and doors from Bella, Marvin, Anderson, and more. All on display in their New Berlin showroom, all installed by Hometown employee carpenters. Wood, vinyl, or Fibrex, they have options for every budget. Call my friends today at Hometown Windows and Doors. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need.
Prizes, flyaways, even
Cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests.
That's WTMJ.com/contests.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Oh, the big dance starting today. Badgers first up, at least in our part of the world. Hey, this is a fun event. You buy one, we buy the other. Thanalysis Live, one of the biggest nights in Wisconsin sports, and we don't want anyone to miss out. You buy one ticket, and ESPN Wisconsin, our great teammates and partners, are going to buy the other. Be there for the night that we'll have everyone talking. March 27th, Thanalysis Live is a completely unpredictable show with Thanasis Antetokounmpo and surprise guests. You never know who's going to show up. Every year it's different. We were there. Were you there when Stephen Smith showed up? That was awesome. Bobby Portis brought down the house. Cool stuff. TALiveshow.com. TALiveshow.com is where you get tickets. Enter the code ESPN WIBOGO. That's ESPN WIBOGO. When you check out, that's ESPN WIBOGO. You got it? I said it 3 times. The stars will be out. Woo! Ric Flair? Woo! Hello! How about that? All right, so check it out. March 27th, Riverside Theater. I don't care who you're picking in the tourney. I don't fill out brackets anymore. It is one of the most fun times of any sports. Somebody was asking on Jen gave a chew today. Is it bigger than the World Series? I don't know. I guess if I was in the World Series, my team, I'd probably say no. But this is a big deal. Have fun with it. Cheer on your team. Have a beer or 2 or 3. But if you go past 3, don't drive. Maybe 2 if you're small-bodied like Greg Matzik. If you know that what your state is and you don't want to get in that problem. So have fun with it. Enjoy the tourney. That all kicks off today. I'll be back tomorrow. Bill, Joe, Kristen, I think she's here. Point taken, 620 WTMJ.
Read what you want to read. Believe what you want to believe. But go to bed.
Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, a weekly feature covering the dynamics of the insurance market, how it affects Wisconsin businesses and residents. Sponsored by the original Knowledge Broker, R&R Insurance. Joining me today, Jeff Salasinski,